ready to rumble? Today, we are diving deep into the world of professional boxing.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a fight coming up that has got everyone talking.
I know. I'm so excited for this one.
Jack Catterall versus Arnold Barboza Jr.
This is going to be good.
Now, this fight is being billed as a final eliminator for the WBO super lightweight title.
Yeah?
And for anyone who isn't a diehard boxing fan,
Right.
a final eliminator means...
It basically means the winner is almost guaranteed a shot at the world title.
So we are talking about a potential shot at becoming world champion.
Stakes are high.
Yeah, huge implications for both these fighters.
Absolutely.
And we've got some great sources today that have some pretty interesting details on these guys.
Okay.
I've got an article here.
Right.
It's highlighting Catterall's recent revenge win.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
Barboza Jr.'s flawless record.
Undefeated.
Some expert predictions that have me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, I think these predictions are really interesting.
So what I think is so fascinating about this matchup
Yep.
is that it's not your typical champion versus contender narrative, you know?
Right.
Both fighters are at the top of their game.
Absolutely.
And their paths to this point
Yeah.
couldn't be more different.
They're both coming at this from such different angles, and I think that's what makes this fight so interesting.
Okay, so let's break down these paths a little bit.
Okay.
First up, Jack Catterall from the UK.
Yep.
This guy is riding a wave of momentum right now.
For sure.
Having won his last two fights,
Yeah.
he just avenged his loss against Josh Taylor
Tough fight.
and then took down former world champion Regis Prograis.
You know what's interesting about that fight?
Yeah.
He knocked Prograis down twice.
Oh, wow.
And Prograis,
Yeah.
known for having an incredibly strong chin,
Yeah.
like almost never gets knocked down.
Wow.
So for Catterall to do that not once, but twice,
Yeah.
shows a real evolution in his power.
So it's not just about winning,
Oh,
but how he won.
exactly.
It's the way he's winning these fights.
Makes him even more dangerous going up against a defensive fighter like Barboza Jr.
That makes sense, but Barboza Jr. is undefeated for a reason, right?
Absolutely.
Like, this guy is...
He's a wall.
a wall, yeah.
Barboza Jr. has won all 30 of his professional fights.
Oh.
11 knockouts.
Yeah, so he's got the power.
He does have power.
He might not have the flashy knockouts of some other fighters,
Right.
but there's a reason for that, right?
Right.
Like, what is it about his style that makes him so undefeated?
It's all about control and precision.
Okay.
He's methodical.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he breaks opponents down with well-placed body shots.
So he's not going for the quick knockout?
No.
Ah.
He's not a headhunter.
He's really...
He's a craftsman,
Wow.
dismantling his opponent piece by piece.
That's an interesting way to put it.
Yeah, I think it's a good analogy for his style.
I like that.
Very methodical.
So we've got Catterall,
Yeah.
this new power and
Yeah.
momentum going up against
Yeah.
Barboza Jr., the undefeated wall, with his precision and control.
Yeah. How do these styles match up in the ring?
That's the question.
I know it's going to be interesting to see.
So how do they match up?
Well, Catterall's known for his technical skills and stamina.
Okay.
He likes to box from the outside, pick his shots,
Yeah.
wear his opponents down over the rounds.
Okay.
He's very strategic in his approach, almost like a chess player,
Oh.
planning his moves.
But Barboza Jr.'s patience
Right.
and ability to control the pace of a fight
Yep.
could be a problem for Catterall if he's looking for a quick finish, right?
That's a great point.
Like, could that be an issue?
It could be because Barboza Jr. doesn't rush.
Okay.
He's content to wait for the right opportunity.
He's going to wait it
He's
in.
very good at cutting off the ring.
What does that mean?
So that means he traps his opponents against the ropes.
Oh.
When they have less
well,
space to move,
Okay.
makes it easier for him to land his punches.
So he's really going to kind of corner them.
He's a master at that.
Yeah. And then really use that precision to just wear them down.
Exactly.
So we've got a clash of styles here.
Yeah, we do.
The technician versus the craftsman.
It's a classic matchup.
And according to our article,
Yeah.
the experts are predicting Catterall to win by decision.
Interesting.
So what do you think about that?
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because the article suggests that Catterall might have the edge in terms of technique and stamina,
Okay.
which would allow him to outpoint Barboza Jr. over the full 12 rounds.
Yeah. I mean, Barboza Jr. doesn't seem like the type of fighter to go down easily.
No, he's very durable,
So it would have to be a decision.
most likely.
But of course, those are just predictions.
Right, predictions aren't always right.
Exactly.
It's his boxing.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
It's the sweet science.
What I think is so captivating about this fight
Yeah.
is the narrative.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
So we've got Catterall on this quest for redemption.
Oh, yeah.
After that controversial loss to Taylor.
Everyone thought he won that fight.
I know.
It was a robbery.
Yeah. So he's really looking to prove himself here.
Absolutely. This is his chance.
And then Barboza Jr.
Yeah.
has a chance to solidify his position as a top contender.
He's already undefeated.
Yeah.
But this would put him on another level.
Really make a statement
Exactly.
that he can not only win,
Yeah.
but also do so against the best in the division.
Against a top contender like Catterall.
So it's not just about who wins,
No.
but what a win would mean
The implications are huge.
for their careers.
Exactly. It's a crossroads for both fighters.
Well, that's a good way to put it.
And that's what makes this fight so compelling.
Yeah,
It's not just about winning or losing.
right.
It's about the stories that unfold within the ring.
The journey.
The journeys these fighters have taken.
And the dreams they're fighting for.
It's almost like a Shakespearean drama unfolding before our eyes.
I love that.
Yeah, it's high drama.
Now, before we get too caught up in the main event,
Yeah.
let's not forget about the undercard,
Oh, the undercard is stacked.
which has some pretty exciting matchups as well.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to get into that.
Me too.
So let's take a quick break, and we'll be back to break down those undercard fights.
All right, sounds good.
So the undercard is stacked for this fight.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some really exciting matchups.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a great showcase,
Yep.
of the diverse range of talent
So sure.
in the sport.
It's not just about the main event.
Right.
There are compelling stories unfolding at every level.
And speaking of stories,
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier
Okay.
that this fight is a crossroads
Yeah.
for both Catterall and Barboza Jr.
It really is.
What do you mean by that?
Well, for Catterall, a win here would be a resounding statement to the boxing world.
Okay.
It would solidify his status as a top contender and finally earn him that elusive world title shot.
After that controversial loss to Taylor?
Oh, yeah. Everyone thought he won that fight.
I know.
It was a robbery.
So this is really a redemption story for him.
It would be the ultimate redemption story.
He could come back and say, like, hey,
It would be like saying, hey, I'm back
I'm back.
and better than ever.
Yeah, and remember, he just took down Prograis,
Oh,
a
yeah.
guy known for his incredible chin.
Yeah. Almost never gets knocked down.
So that adds even more weight to this comeback story.
Absolutely.
What about Barboza Jr.?
Yeah.
What would a win mean for him at this point in his career?
A win over a fighter of Catterall's caliber would be huge.
Okay.
It would be a huge leap forward in terms of competition.
Okay.
And it would finally put him in the spotlight.
Because he's been kind of under the radar.
He has, he's undefeated, but he hasn't really fought the top guys. This would be a statement
My declaration.
saying, hey, I've arrived
I'm here.
and I'm ready for the world title.
So it's not just about this one fight,
No,
but about the potential trajectory of their careers.
it really is.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
It's what makes this
Yeah.
fight so captivating.
Yeah.
It's not just about who wins or loses.
Right.
It's about the stories that unfold within the ring,
It's about those journeys
the journeys these fighters have taken.
and the dreams they're fighting for.
It's like you said, it's a redemption story,
It's almost like a
almost like a Shakespearean drama
Shakespearean drama.
unfolding before our eyes.
High stakes.
High drama.
You mentioned that Barboza Jr.'s style is very methodical.
Right.
Could that methodical approach be a disadvantage in a fight
Yeah.
with such high stakes?
That's a great question.
Because you would think he would want to come out,
You'd think so.
guns blazing.
Sometimes in these high-pressure situations,
Yeah.
fighters can get caught up in the moment,
Yeah.
abandon their game plan.
Right.
If Barboza Jr. allows Catterall's aggression and pace to dictate the fight,
Yeah.
it could disrupt his rhythm, open up opportunities for Catterall to capitalize on.
So even though he's got this reputation for being this impenetrable wall,
Right.
the pressure of this fight could
Crack that wall, so to speak.
crack that wall.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
That's the beauty of boxing. You never know.
You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you just don't know.
And the experts seem to think this is going to be a decision,
Right.
meaning it will go the full 12 rounds.
Yep, 12 rounds.
Does that
Yeah.
surprise you, given their styles?
Well,
I mean, you've got Catterall,
Right.
who likes to wear his opponents down,
wear them down.
or Barboza Jr., who's all about precision and control.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like either of them is a knockout artist.
You're right. Neither fighter is known for their one-punch knockout power.
Okay.
Catterall's strength is his ability to box effectively over 12 rounds.
Yeah.
Utilize his technique and stamina to outpoint his opponents.
Okay.
And while Barboza Jr. does possess knockout power,
Yeah.
he typically prefers to break down his opponents gradually.
Yeah.
targeting the body using combinations.
It's going to be a long fight.
It's likely to be a very tactical fight.
I'm picturing a real chess match in the ring.
Yeah.
With both fighters trying to outmaneuver and outsmart each other.
That's a great analogy.
They're both fighting for something much bigger than just this one victory.
Absolutely.
They're fighting for a chance to make history.
To become a world champion.
Okay, so we've talked about the main event.
Right.
Let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Dive a little deeper
Yeah.
into the undercard.
All right, let's do it.
We briefly mentioned some of the matchups earlier,
Yeah.
but there are a few that I think are particularly intriguing.
Okay.
First up, we have Reese Bellotti versus Michael Gomez Jr.
Oh, yeah.
What stands out to you about this fight?
This one has all the makings of a classic brawl.
Yeah, they're both pretty aggressive fighters.
Both Bellotti and Gomez Jr. are known for their aggressive styles.
Yeah.
Willingness to stand and trade punches.
Do you think that could backfire on either fighter? What happens if one of them gets caught with a big shot early on?
That's a good point.
You know?
When you have two fighters who are so eager to engage,
Right.
it can often lead to a more reckless and less disciplined approach.
So it's a risky strategy,
It can be.
but it's exciting.
Oh, for sure.
All right, next up we have Pat McCormack versus Robbie Davies Jr.
Yeah,
Now, we talked about this one being a potential clash of style,
it is a clash of styles.
with McCormack being the more technical boxer
Very technical.
and Davies Jr. being the relentless pressure fighter.
Just keeps coming forward.
So what are you expecting to see from these two?
I think McCormack will try to use his footwork and jab to control the distance.
Keep him away,
Keep Davies Jr. at bay.
picking him apart from the outside.
Picking him apart.
Davies Jr., on the other hand,
Yeah.
will be looking to close the distance.
Get inside.
Get inside McCormack's reach.
Yeah.
Rough him up on the inside.
Exactly.
So it'll be interesting to see who can kind of impose their will.
It's a classic battle of speed versus power.
I like it.
Yeah.
A tale as old as time.
As old as time in boxing.
Now let's move on to Zelfa Barrett versus Jazza Dickens.
Okay.
Now this is a fight between a rising star
Yeah.
and a seasoned veteran.
This one's interesting.
It has the potential to be a real changing of the guard moment.
It does.
Barrett is a young, hungry fighter
He's undefeated.
who is quickly making a name for himself.
He's coming off some impressive victories.
But he's facing a significant step up in competition
Absolutely.
since Dickens.
This is a big test for him.
You mentioned earlier that Dickens has fought some of the best in the world.
Oh, yeah. Dickens has been in the ring with world champions.
Do you think that experience gives him a significant edge in this fight?
Absolutely.
I mean, how valuable is that?
It's invaluable,
Especially against a younger fighter.
especially against a young fighter like Barrett, who's still relatively untested at the top level.
So this is Barrett's chance to really prove himself.
To prove he belongs among the elite.
While for Dickens,
Yeah.
it's an opportunity to show he still got it
To show he can still compete.
at the highest level.
And that he's not done yet.
I love it.
It's a great matchup.
And finally, we have Joe McGrail,
Yes, Joe McGrail.
the young, undefeated prospect,
Lots of potential.
facing off against Ashley Lane.
A tough opponent.
Now, this is McGrail's chance to shine on a big stage.
This is his opportunity.
But Lane is a tough and durable opponent
He's not going to make it easy.
who's not going to make it easy for him.
This is a real step up in competition for McGrail.
So what do you think
Lane is a seasoned veteran.
about McGrail's chances in this fight?
McGrail has a lot of potential,
Yeah.
but this is a real test for him.
Okay.
Lane has been in there with some top-level fighters,
Yeah.
and he knows how to use his experience to his advantage.
So he's going to have to bring his A game.
Yeah,
This is what I love about boxing.
I know, me too.
Every fight has a story.
Every fighter has a dream.
You never know what's going to happen.
It's the sweet science.
When those gloves go on.
You just never know.
It's amazing to think about,
Yeah.
the legacy these fighters are fighting for.
Absolutely.
It's not just about winning this one fight.
Right.
It's about
It's about etching their names
etching their names
Into boxing history.
into boxing history.
Becoming legends.
And speaking of legends,
Yeah.
the super lightweight division
Oh, yeah.
has had some pretty iconic champions
Absolutely.
over the years.
This division has been home to some of the greatest fighters of all time.
Like, who are we talking about here?
Guys like Roberto Duran,
Oh, yeah.
Julio Cesar Chavez,
Wow.
Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Huge names.
These are names that transcend the sport.
Yeah, what was it about those fighters that
Yeah.
made them so special?
They all had this incredible combination of,
Yeah.
physical prowess,
Yeah.
mental toughness,
Okay.
and charisma.
Charisma, that's interesting.
Yeah, they captivated audiences worldwide.
Okay, so like Duran, for instance,
Yeah.
was known for his relentless aggression
Oh, wow.
and his iron chin.
So he could just take a punch.
He would just keep coming forward,
Wow.
absorbing punches that would knock out most fighters.
That's crazy.
And he would just wear his opponents down
Wow.
with his sheer tenacity.
Just wouldn't give up.
Never gave up.
What about Chavez?
Chavez was a master of body punching.
Oh, wow. So he was really going for the body shots.
He would systematically break down his opponents
Wow.
with relentless pressure and precise body shots.
And then Mayweather Jr.
Yeah.
I mean,
Considered by many to be
yeah.
one of the greatest defensive fighters of all time.
What was it about him
His defensive skills were truly remarkable.
that made him such a good defensive fighter?
He had this uncanny ability to anticipate his opponent's punches,
Yeah.
make them miss,
Oh, wow.
and then he was incredibly accurate with his counterpunching.
So not only would he dodge the punches,
Yeah.
but then he'd come back with a
He was a master at controlling the pace of the fight,
Wow.
dictating the terms of engagement.
So these were fighters who weren't just winning fights.
Right.
They were redefining the sport.
They were pushing the boundaries of what was possible.
Wow.
And that's what makes this upcoming fight so exciting.
Mhm.
You know, both Catterall and Barboza Jr. have the potential
Yeah.
to join that elite group.
Of super lightweight champions
A win in this final eliminator puts them on that path
to challenge for the world title.
and potentially cement their legacy in the division.
It's crazy to think about,
It is.
this fight
Yeah.
isn't just about two guys trying to beat each other up.
Right.
It's about
the pursuit of greatness,
the pursuit of greatness.
the chance to etch their names
Yeah.
alongside those legends of the sport.
I think you just perfectly captured the essence of boxing.
I appreciate that.
It's not just a sport.
It's more than just a sport.
It's a story
It's a story of human struggle.
of human struggle
And
and the pursuit of excellence.
that's it. That's boxing in a nutshell.
And I think as we wrap up our deep dive into this fight,
Yeah.
it's important to remember that
Okay.
while the historical context
Yeah.
and the potential legacy
Right.
are significant aspects of this event,
Yeah.
it's also important to appreciate
Right.
the individual stories
The human element.
of these fighters.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, Catterall's fighting for redemption,
Yeah.
a chance to prove that he belongs at the top of the division.
And Barboza Jr.
Yeah.
is fighting to maintain his undefeated streak
Right.
and solidify his position as a world title contender.
And each of the fighters on the undercard
Yeah.
has their own story,
Their own story
their own motivations.
and their own dreams.
It's what makes boxing so human and relatable.
Well, I think we've given our listener
Yeah.
a pretty comprehensive deep dive into this fight.
I think so.
We've covered the fighters,
Their styles,
the undercard,
the undercard, the historical context
even the historical context.
of the super lightweight division.
We've explored the narratives,
Analyzed the potential outcome.
but even delved into the psychology
Yeah, the psychology.
of these warriors.
It's a mental game as much as it is a physical one.
So, listener,
Yeah.
we've given you all the information,
All the insights.
all the angles.
All the angles.
Now it's your turn to decide.
That's right.
Who do you think will win this clash of titans?
Catterall or Barboza Jr.
And don't forget about the undercard.
So many great fights.
Which of those fights are you most looking forward to?
I want to know.
Let us know your predictions.
Yeah, let us know.
And be sure to tune in to WAZN
February 15th
on February 15th.
to witness this epic night of boxing.
This is one you won't want to miss.
Absolutely not.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Keep those gloves up
Stay in the fight.
and stay in the fight.